All right, welcome to Trout Talk right here on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. It is the official podcast of the Mississauga Steelheads. My name is Mike Carafalidis, along with Brendan Lang and Zach Bodenstein. Guys, how are we doing, my amigos from Steelheads broadcast right here at Sauga 960?
Zach, I think you should go first because
I was going to say I'm world serious, boys. I'm world serious. I'm all in. Texas Rangers, if you don't know, if you've been living under a rock listening to this show, I've been a big fan for most of my life. They're back to the World Series. First time since 2011. I was in grade 9 when the last time they were in the World Series. I remember that. Painful memories. So hopefully they're able to wash those away. And this is exciting. I mean, you know, it's sports are so infectious, right? Like it's so much fun when you're having success, and you see it with the Steelheads that we caught on last year when they were on that heater. So it's always fun with being a fan, being a part of the team. And right now, yeah, it's fun. You know, friends coming over to watch the game, watching with my family. It really is like a social event. And on top of that, things are going well. So other than that, things I'm actually doing, because I don't control the baseball, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. You know, I was telling you guys before, just working, you know, working out, seeing my family, friends, all that kind of stuff. Pretty much the same thing, trying to keep busy. Going to go get some groceries after we record this. So that's always a fun event. I weirdly like going to get groceries. It's like therapeutic for me. Going to get groceries and mowing the lawn. Very therapeutic for me. Brendan, is that weird? I don't know.
No, I don't think it's weird. Well, the groceries part, I mean, I just remember when I was a kid and like my mom or my grandma or my nana would take me to the grocery store. And like as a kid, I just hated going to stores. So I kind of have some bad memories there. But mowing the lawn, I completely agree with you on that one. It just, I mean, it sounds like we're like 80 years old. Oh yeah, I like to go out there and mow the lawn. But anyways, it's very therapeutic. Put some music in, usually when I'm mowing the lawn. I'll do that. Just like smell the fresh cut grass. It's awesome. It really is. So I agree with you on that one. The grocery shopping stores, not so much for me, but the lawn mowing for sure. I'm with you on that. And then there's not going to be any lawn mowing for a while. We're getting winter, but it's been so warm recently. Like it's crazy. I think today at the time of recording, it's going to come out a little bit later, of course, but there was some record snowfall in Manitoba, I think today, and it was 20 degrees here. Like it's just it's weird stuff. So anyways, things have been going well, been focused on the baseball as well. Don't have a team in the race. Blue Jays, of course, were out a while ago, but we don't need to go back and talk about that. I can't believe the Diamondbacks are going to the World Series. Like I didn't see that coming whatsoever. I think the Texas Rangers will probably dismantle them, but I thought the Brewers would, I thought the Dodgers would, and I thought the Phillies would. So I really can't say what's going to happen, but it should be a good series. It should be good.
I think, to get that far, Mikey, they're there for a reason, no matter what the sport is. You know, you watch Arizona, they're best defense in baseball, one of the best bullpens in baseball, pesky bats like the 2015 Royals. So I didn't mean to cut you off, Mikey, but for me, it's like they're there for a reason, and you can't take them lightly.
No, you better not take those guys lightly. My goodness, they won 2 in a row in Philadelphia. Who expected that, right? Nobody expected that. So they went in and they beat them good, right? Good pitching. Pitching beats good offense, and that's what happened there, what I saw at least. So cutting the grass, yeah. I actually did it today there, boys.
There we go. The last grass cut of the year?
That's what I said last week. That's what I said last week. I said that last week too. This is going to be the last one. But no, went to the front, went to the back, did all that, put my music in, and did the same thing. Grocery store. I agree with you on the grocery store, Zach. Now I like going because I like to grab the stuff now because, you know, I'm doing this diet thing and all that kind of stuff, right? So I find it therapeutic as well. You're onto something there, and a nice mustache, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say that too. Yeah, for the
well done. You got the Movember thing happening.
Yeah,
it's looking good.
A little bit early, but I plan on doing Movembers. Nice. That'll be a thing.
I'm going to start calling you Pasqualino from now on.
No, I think it looks good. I do. I think that's the look. I think you might have to keep it past November. I think
so too.
I think it's the way. Another thing you mentioned, you of course working out, and you do that a lot. Is that every day? You go to the gym every day? Is that
6 days a week? So 1 rest day. But this week's going to be a little bit different because I'm off to Pittsburgh for a road trip. The Penguins one night, the Steelers the next night with 3 friends. So that's why I won't be doing the Kingston game this weekend, unfortunately. But I know Brandon's going to hold the fort down, so that'll be we're in good hands.
Right. Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
It's going to be a great weekend all around. The Pittsburgh, been to Pittsburgh once. I liked it. It's not bad. It's good. But as a Browns fan, to go down there and you wear your Cleveland stuff, I'll tell you guys a funny story. So went into a store the one time we went to Pittsburgh just to buy some groceries, which was funny for the tailgate party. So anyways, so we had on our Browns jerseys. Well, 3 of us did and 1 didn't. So the guy looks at me. He goes, "What? A Browns fan? Here?" He says, "Here," he says. I'm like, well, looking around each other. You know what we did? Because we're younger, bolted right out of the store. No questions asked. We didn't even buy anything there. We just bolted right out. All right, where's the next one? We went to the next store, took our jerseys off. That was the end of that. Went to the game, though, didn't wear the jerseys. But you're going to have a great time in Pittsburgh. That's good stuff. Good fans down there, good city. I've never been to the new arena, though, in Pittsburgh, the Penguins there. So that should be a lot of fun, huh?
Yeah. I'm excited. They've got some good Primanti Brothers, the sandwich shop there. So that's
I remember you said that.
Oh, right.
So that's on the agenda for sure. And then I've been to Mellon Arena, their old one, and then I've been to PPG Paint. So this will be, I think, my second time there. I've never been to Heinz Field or whatever it's called now. So that'll be a good time. Just, a weekend away with friends. Like I said, trying to escape. Yeah. This is my life tip a little bit early. Just take it easy a little bit, right? Like you said,
easy.
You said that last week, but just detach a little bit. Have some fun. It's not all go, 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 which is obviously my mindset most of the time, but I need to learn to just relax. So this will be fun.
Good stuff. All right, let's go. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about on the show today. Well, big win. First, let's start off with a big win against the Kitchener Rangers, boys. I mean, 5-1, and they really took it to the Rangers. Ryerson Leanders was absolutely fantastic that game.
Yeah, Brandon. I mean, that was a fun one for sure.
Yeah, it was. Me and you were on the call, and I mean, I feel like that's kind of been said every game so far this year that Ryerson Leanders was absolutely fantastic. That one glove save that he made, we've talked about his play all year, but that may have been the best save that he's made all season. Like going from one end or from one side of the net to the other, stopping. I think it was Rakoff who shot the puck too, or it might have been Mississauga. I can't remember who it was, but somebody who scores a lot of goals. So it was a great save in that regard. And again, he's kept them in the game for times, but I did think the Steelheads really dominated the play in that game. They did get outshot, but it didn't seem like that when you were watching the game. I wouldn't have thought that Kitchener had more shots. I guess that kind of just talks to the fact, and I know we said it a bunch of times too, that the defensive play was really strong and not really allowing them to get to the middle of the ice. Like everything was coming from the outside. There weren't a ton of grade A opportunities. And that was something that the Steelheads kind of wanted to improve upon from what happened on the Northern road trip. They wanted to get better in the defensive zone. And I thought that they kind of applied that there quickly as they got home against Kitchener.
Yeah, you stole my point. I mean, that's exactly what it is. The recipe for success right now for this team. It is a young team, so mistakes are going to happen. They're going to have off nights. Guys are going to lose their positions at times. But I thought against Kitchener, they were really good at just keeping the Rangers to the perimeter. And then when they were able to get to the middle, Leanders was right there to bail them out. And on top of that, I mean, the offense showed up always. 4 lines rolling, 4th line got a goal. All these things are important to me. If they just stay out of the box, I know that's been a point of emphasis for this team. That's really the only thing holding them back right now, I would say. But again, they're rolling right now. So all is well, I would say, with the Steelheads. It's going to happen with a young team in terms of the lack of discipline. But I think they're going to learn. But structure-wise, Mikey, I'm super impressed with this team right now.
Yeah, unbelievable. You just, that's exactly what I was going to talk about. Against the Kitchener Rangers, I mean, the Rangers were trying to really pinch their defensemen a lot that game, really trying to hem them in. And that's what the Sudbury Wolves tried to do. We're doing successfully on Wednesday night. But the Steelheads did great in their counterattack, getting that puck out and countering. And that was huge in that game. They're absolutely humongous and played really well in their own end. And a lot of their shots, as you said, were from the outside. Leanders made about three dynamic saves, though, don't get me wrong. But he made the saves when he had to. Great overall team win. Unbelievable game. And the Steelheads. Well, how about this, boys? CHL top 10 again, sitting at number 8 this week. Last week, number 9. This week, number 8. Well deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure is. And I feel like coming into the season, probably not a lot of people would have thought that they'd be sitting in that top 10. I know last year going into the year, it was kind of the opposite. Everybody thought they would be in that top 10. Everybody thought they'd be there at the end of the year. Maybe not so much this year, but they've really shown up at the beginning of the season. And it's good to see that they're getting recognition as well. I mean, it's hard not to get recognized when you are 9-2, but again, just being able to be in that mix. And that's 2 straight weeks now that they're sitting in the top 10, sitting in 8th place. They're still moving up. So it's great to get that recognition.
Yeah, and they're doing it from everywhere. Like I said, 4 lines rolling, good defensive structure. The goaltending has been lights out. So good. Jack Ivankovic's going to the U17s, which is what Ryerson Leanders did last year, and look at him now. So, this team is rolling, and really surprising, guys, given how young they are. Because, like Brendan alluded to just before, last year, this was a bit of a veteran team. A lot of guys in their OHL prime. This team looked poised to really do something. They decided to go a little bit younger. Some new players, rookies are really stepping up right now, whether it's through the import draft. Maybe that's a little bit of foreshadowing for the show, but also through the entry draft. They're really getting a lot of contributions here. So again, doing things different ways. They're winning different ways, which is something I think we talked about on last week's show. They're not winning every game the same way. They are able to adjust to the game script a little bit, given on the who the opponent is, and just get it done. So super, super exciting so far. We're still early, but a lot to be encouraged with, and well-deserved up at number 8 in the country.
No, I would say. I mean, number 8. There's some other teams in the up there. The London Knights, who lost to the Saginaw Spirit, are still sitting in the top 10, and they didn't have a good weekend. They lost to Erie, and then they lost to Saginaw, and they're still in the top 10. Boys, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, not only in the top 10, sitting in the top 5, they're sitting in 5th place. So,
to me, that's, I don't know. As they say, that's the way she goes, I guess, but I don't know.
I mean, I think probably there's a case to be made that to keep them in the top 10. Yeah, they didn't have a great weekend, but the top 5, I think, probably seems a little too high. I don't know how you feel about that, Zach, but I still think that they should be in that top 10 range. But I mean, I don't know if it really makes that much of a difference.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of subjective in a way, because they're based on streaks, but also your overall standing. So this team is really good. I don't think that's a surprise. I wouldn't be surprised to see London go back to the final. But then again, I'm a huge Saginaw fan, so who knows? But this team lost a lot of guys from last year. London is still poised to do something this year, but we can't forget the guys that they don't have returning from last year. That said, still a good squad. But again, these rankings could be subjective in a way, because they are looking at your overall standing, kind of how you're going to be on a big picture. Even though, they might be reeling a little bit coming off a bad weekend, I don't think it's enough to knock them out too far. That said, guys, I don't know that much about the Q and the W, so I don't really know how they match up with those other teams. I don't know how any OHL team matches up with those other teams for that matter. But yeah, I mean, I've been watching a lot of highlights from some of the top prospects eligible for the draft in those leagues and also in the NCAA. So I'm trying to learn a little bit more about individuals, but as a team, your guess is as good as mine.
All right, let's all hold our breath for a little bit here. Let's take a break. When we come back, we have our special guest, and he is a native of Czechia. And we'll leave it at that. You're listening to Trout Talk right here on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. All right, welcome back to Trout Talk right here on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. And our special guest today is a native of Czechia. In his very first year in the OHL, came over here from a different country, and he is dynamic back there on the blue line. Let's welcome in the one and only defenseman, Jakub Fibigr. There he is. There is Jakub Fibigr. Hello, Jakub. Thank you for coming on Trout Talk. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, very good. Thanks.
Good. You look good. You look good over there. I mean, for the people that are listening, they can't see. So we'll tell you what Jakub looks like right now. Jakub has his hat backwards. He's relaxed. He's chilled. Right. Look at he just looks like $1 million right now. So Jakub, thanks so much for joining us here today. So let's talk about first. Coming over to Canada. How's the transition been?
Yeah, it's been kind of good because all the guys helped me out, really helpful. The coaches, the family where I live, it's been very good. The transition, I expected to be worse, and it was great. So Yeah.
You expect it to be worse. How do you expect it to be worse?
Because I didn't know like what should I didn't know what to expect. So I was
Right.
like coming right like to what I don't know. So it was great.
Of course.
Yeah.
Very good.
And you said there, I mean, that the team is extremely welcoming. You said the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Maybe is there a name or two that has really like taken you under their wing and really helped you out here coming over and playing in the OHL?
I don't know really. Like all the guys are helping me out. So like yeah, all the guys are good. Everybody's good. So like really helpful.
Jakub, why did you say yes to Mississauga? They selected you in the import draft. Why come over to Canada, a country that you're not familiar with, a league that you're not familiar with? What was the opportunity like for you in your mind?
Yeah, like it was obviously for the like better hockey, because back then in Czechia, I was trying to play pro, but it didn't work out. So it was like easy choice to me to come here to best hockey like in Canada, I would say, for me now. So it was kind of obvious choice then.
Jakub, you came over with your family, is that correct?
At first I came here alone, and my family came here for 10 days. They already left, but they really like it here, so it was good time.
And what's your favorite part about Mississauga right now? Have you been to Toronto yet? Like, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I've been in downtown. I've been even in Niagara Falls. It's like different. Like if you know Europe, there is not like downtowns or this stuff. So yeah, it's good.
And coming over and playing kind of on the hockey side, you said that it's a better league. What's kind of been the biggest difference? What's the biggest change that you have to make from playing over in Europe and now playing here?
Like the biggest difference is the ice, because it's smaller. So I was kind of like figure around in the first, but I think I'm all set now and ready to go. So because it was like different, because it's like less space, faster game, more speed, more pace. So it's kind of better. I like it more here.
Jakub, who in Czechia did you grow up idolizing from a hockey standpoint? And you can't say Jaromír Jágr; it's too easy. Who else did you look up to and really model your game after a little bit?
Like you wouldn't be surprised if I say Zid's father, like Marek Zidlicky. He's the best Czech defenseman. So yeah, it was kind of.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what's it been like then? You're around Zids. You idolize his father. Have you guys talked about it? Has he helped you a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, this was like super like helpful to me, because if I have some problem with something, he can help me or whatever. But I can speak English like with all the guys, so that's good.
And you know what? Watching you play in Hlinka in the past summer, you were absolutely fantastic back there. Man, like what makes you so good? What give me your off-season program, man. Like I need to learn off you.
Yeah, like thanks for that, but I did like off-season with the pros in Czechia, so that kind of helped me out, like working out with man. So it was good. It was good off-season, and then we had really great off-season like with the national team before the Hlinka. So it was great time.
And you did play in the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, as Mikey just mentioned there. So, I mean, that's got to be pretty awesome to be able to represent your country, and you got to play against some of your teammates now here in Mississauga.
Yeah. I played against Porter, and like Ryerson was there too, but he didn't play. But it doesn't matter. It was like a really great tournament for us, for Czechia. We came second. Kind of tough final though, but still we won. We like was second, and it's pretty good for Czechia. We had our like really good group, so it was a good tournament.
You know, Jakub, you've got the big legs, right? I'm wondering also, what's the routine like to strengthen the legs a little bit? Is it on the ice, but is it also in the gym? How do you train?
I don't know. I like the squats, like in a gym, and we played a lot of soccer in Europe, so maybe that's the thing. Yeah, and like I feel like the ice, like the game, is the most important, because you use the legs. I use the legs quite often. You can tell. So yeah, and the most like the important part is like to do the recovery, like the ice bath and all this stuff, to be always fresh. So yeah,
I guarantee you, if you played soccer, you're a defenseman. Am I right?
Actually, no. I was like at a point like when Ronaldo and all these players play. I like scoring goals in soccer.
Oh, I thought I could see you defending. I thought you'd be one of those big, tall defenders back there, just heading everything out of
Yes.
there, being that sweeper.
Sometimes
So
yeah. Sometimes I played goalie though, but
that was my next guess. All right, good stuff. That was close.
Guys,
That was close.
yeah.
That was very, very close.
Guys, he scored a goal 18 seconds into his
Right.
OHL career. So
That's unbelievable. How'd that feel? Tell us
Yeah.
about your first
Yeah.
OHL goal.
yeah, that was crazy.
Take us through it.
I couldn't even believe it. I thought someone tipped it. I think someone tipped it. I don't know, but yeah, I couldn't believe it at first because it was my first shift and first shot, like first whatever, like it was first of everything, and I was like, "What is happening right now?" So it was really great.
You're leading in rookie scoring in the OHL, and you've done a lot of good stuff on the power play. Is playing on the power play something you've always done, or is that kind of something that's been new to you since you've come over here to Mississauga?
Yeah, thanks. I always like played power play, but I never played like the spread what we are playing right now. And we always played like 1-3-1, and I played on top, like on a point. So it is kind of new thing to me, but I really like it because we score a lot of goals, and who doesn't like scoring goals? So yeah, it's been really good.
yeah, the power play looks really good. A lot of movement. What's so
Yeah.
easy? What's so easy about playing with these guys? You know, you play with Chaz a lot. You've got Finn Harding as an option, Parker Von Richter, Stevie Leskovar's having a good season. Talk to me about playing with some of these guys because you guys are making a heck of a D tandem right now.
Yeah, all these are really good. Like we have good righties, Chet Sharp, incredible like start of the season, like 7 or 8 goals. I don't really know. I mean, now I'm playing with Parker von Richter. He's like been really good. Like playing the D partner, he's more like defensive for me, and I'm more offensive. So it's been really good. I played with Finn on a power play too, so it's good. Like all the guys are helping me out. Stevie, even Drags is good. Like everybody's good.
So you got that team unity. You're able to come and bring what you bring to this team, and it's just you fit right in. As far as I'm concerned, you just fit right in, right like a glove,
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
a fine tooth glove, my man. So what is
Yeah,
it like? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think like we have like really special group, like young guys and like some of the older guys, like Sharpie, Woody, and we are really good this year. I think we have, and next year we will be. I think it will be crazy next year.
And last episode we had Luke Misa on here. And we were talking about the road trip and you going up north. That would have been your first northern road trip here in the OHL. So could you kind of tell us about that experience?
Yeah, it was kind of tough after the bus to play the game, and even we had the trouble with the ice. So it was tough game in Sudbury, but it was better in North Bay then. We came back from 6-4 to 7-6, so it was great comeback. So it was a good game, and we have 1 loss and 1 win. So I think that was good. So I think after 11 games, 9 wins, 2 losses, not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Oh, not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else? What else isn't bad? Tim Hortons. You're new to Canada. I know you guys on the road. You like to stop off at Tim Hortons a little bit. Have you tried anything at Tim Hortons yet?
Yeah, like I've been trying a lot of things, but I think my favorite is like iced coffee and some chocolate dip or whatever. That's the classic.
Yeah.
Jakub, if I was to have a chocolate dip donut, I'd inflate 5 pounds, just to let you know. So you're lucky you can do that.
Yeah.
You're lucky you could do that, my man. So tell me, okay, I mean, back in Czech, give me your favorite hockey moment. I've asked a lot of the guys this, but I'm going to ask you this now, especially on this show. Your favorite hockey moment to this point, like your hockey moment that stands out in your mind.
Yeah, like
that you'll never forget right now.
Like obviously recently, like the Hlinka Gretzky, it was like the biggest my moment of all time, like what I played. Because before that, I don't know really what to say. Like it was like normal season, nothing special. But then the Hlinka, yeah. So it would be the Hlinka Cup.
And going back to kind of something that you said earlier on in the interview about recovery and in the ice baths and doing all that type of stuff to make sure you're keeping your body ready. You said you were playing pro back home. did that kind of help you to get into that mindset of the recovery? Did that kind of show you the way there?
Yeah. Like the pros helped me. I didn't play I played one game there, and I didn't even like jump in. I was like 7D, so it was good experience though, because see all the professionals doing their things and just like to explore. So it was really good. Like do the sauna, ice baths, hot tub, like whatever helps me. So yeah, it was really good experience.
If anybody listening is taking a trip over to Czech, what can they do? What are the fun things to do? What do you have to go do and see in Czech?
Like obviously you have to see Prague, because it's like beautiful city there, Charles Bridge, the castle, and then whatever you want, you can like, I don't know, we have good hockey there too, but I don't know, we have great nature in Czechia, little country roads through nature, yeah. So
sorry,
they
Brendan, go ahead, buddy.
definitely have to try Czech beer and Czech food.
Well, that was gonna kind of be my next question. The food, Zach asked you about Tim Hortons. That's a Canadian thing. What about in Czechia? What's your go-to food back home?
Yeah,
steak.
It's probably like,
You already said it.
Yeah, it's steak or schnitzel.
Oh, schnitzel,
Yeah. I really miss like the Czech food, like back from my mom or my grandma. So that's what I'm like looking forward to. The food.
You know what? See, that's one thing. Like, so how's that? You know, like how often do you keep in contact with your family down there? I mean, every day, 3 times, 4 times a day, I guess, right?
No, it's just once a day because the time difference. So like every day, like right after practice, I call my parents, like, what's up, what's going on. Sometimes I call my grandma, my brother, my sister. So yeah, and we always call after the game because they're watching it through the CHL TV. So
right, that's good.
Yeah,
and I just want to add on to that. Like, how much have you learned right now off your coaches in Czechia now to James Richmond? Right, so two different kinds of styles, as you were saying. So how much have you learned off James Richmond and staff right now? What are they teaching you the most what to do in your development?
Yeah, I'm like learning a lot here, because it's a huge difference to me, because now the coaches are telling me all the things like every single day, bunch of new stuff. And I think I'm like learning pretty good. So there's good stuff that Jar says us, or Matt Charantano and Torney. So really good stuff.
And with the coaching staff, you said there's a bunch of different things. Are the systems that are being played like really different than what you're used to playing, or are they kind of similar in some regards, or how does that work?
Like if you mean the games, we had like 50 games, so 68 is like a bit different because we play like 3 games a week almost. So it's kind of tough sometimes, because like 3 and 3 or whatever, it's tough, but it's good for me or good for the team to play like more games to get better. Obviously, we have like more game experience, and that's always good.
What's been your favorite rink so far in the OHL? You guys haven't played too much on the road just yet, but what rinks and what cities have kind of stood out to you so far?
My favorite is obviously home rink, because we never lost, so it's good now. And on the road,
because we never lost.
Yeah, on the road I really liked Guelph rink. It was nice rink there. Yeah, and I feel like all the rinks are pretty much same. Like the Sudbury was a little bit different. I didn't really like the benches, the cross benches, the old school.
Right.
Yeah, me neither.
It was like confusing for me. So
I agree. And the chunk of ice coming out and all that kind of stuff. They need a new arena down there. They need a new arena, and they're trying to get one. Brendan, go ahead. Sorry, buddy.
No, I was just going to say it's confusing to watch, so I can't even imagine playing on that ice, because I'm just looking at the game. Mikey was there, but I'm just watching it on TV, and it's like I don't even know what side either team's on. So it's got to be extremely confusing when you're on the ice. I'd be sitting on the other team's bench all the time.
It's definitely, Jakub. About the line changes. Tell me about the line changes. How did you adjust to that from the ice being like that, huh?
I don't know. I was like stuck in D zone like for 2 minutes always, because they changed up so quickly, and I was stuck there. And I always use the glass to get out and go change.
Right.
It was so bad up there.
Oh man, Jakub, you know what? Want to thank you so much for joining us here on Trout Talk. Obviously, we're going to see you, a lot during the season, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us, and keep up the good work with the Steelheads. Your development has been top notch. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. See you guys.
Thanks, Jakub.
Thank you very much, Jakub.
Have a good one. Well, gentlemen, Jakub Fibigr. And when we come back on Trout Talk, we will talk a little bit more about the interview with Jakub Fibigr. And you're listening to Trout Talk right here at News Talk Sauga 960 AM. All right, welcome back to Trout Talk right here on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. Mike Carafalitis along with Zach Bodestein and Brendan Lang. Guys, Jakub Fibigr, fine young man, great English.
Yeah.
Wow. Great English guy that was drafted first in the first round in the CHL import draft by the Mississauga Steelheads. Wow, yeah, scoring 18 seconds. What was it, 18 seconds into his first shift? That's what it was. Yeah, well, fine young man, and he's got a big career ahead of him.
Yeah, he sure does. And I mean, he's gotten off to such a good start. And we talked about the 11 points so far this season, like coming from on the defensive side. Yeah, I mean, I didn't personally see this coming. I don't think many people did, but I mean, just the skating ability you see. Remember we were talking to JR. It might have been before the first game or maybe in the preseason. And he said, it's something that you'd mentioned in the interview, Zach, but he said, he's got those really strong legs. And that's something that's pretty common with players coming over from Europe. And obviously he's used that. I think he's actually adapted to the physicality of the game extremely well too. I thought maybe that sometimes could be an issue when you come over from Europe. Smaller ice, again, he talked about that, not on the big surface, might be a little bit more physical, but I think he's adapted extremely well to all kind of the differences here in North America.
Yeah, he's like the definition, guys, of a two-way defenseman. I mean, he's doing it all. You mentioned the points, and those speak for themselves, but he's such a smart player in his own end. He's never beat on the outside or even to the inside. I mean, he's always reading plays well. He's got a really good stick, and he plays in all situations for this team. And I mean, you can compare him situationally to the rest of the team because Von Richter, Harding, and Sharp are all playing all situations, and Fibigr's just another guy. Hard to believe he's a rookie. Hard to believe he's a defenseman when you look at the offense that he's providing. And, I mean, it's hard to believe that he's coming into a new country and doing what he's doing because that is not an easy thing. He's 17 years old, and he is now in a new country playing with a bunch of different people, not around his family. And so from a personal standpoint, that is not an easy thing to do. On top of that, to flourish. So proud of him. I was able to talk to him on the bus a little bit on the way up to Guelph a few weeks ago. That was great. And Mike, I mean, the guy's
totally chill. He's totally chill. He's totally chill. And, he was sitting right behind us, and he's just chill. I mean, he's just focused. He's got his stuff in. He's got his AirPods in, whatnot. I think what I'm most impressed with him, guys, think about all the guys that have come over at his age to the OHL. And, it takes him a little bit longer to develop, to get used to the league, and him right away, to me, it seems like he's just adjusted so well. I mean, it seems like he's been playing with Chaz Sharp, been playing with Parker Von Richter with the D guys for like 2 years. It's only been not even a month, right? Yeah. It's just he's been right, and he's just a perfect teammate, and he's got such a good future. He's unbelievable, and wow, a great kid, really, really good kid. Too. Yeah, and he fits JR's system perfectly. Sorry, Brendan, right?
No, he definitely does. And I was just saying, I'm glad that Zach brought that up, just how difficult it is to come over. I mean, I don't know what it's like. None of us know what that's like to leave home at 17 years old and go to a completely different country. I mean, it's got to be a different kind of experience. It's got to be a very difficult experience. But again, I'm glad that you kind of brought that up and how difficult that would be. And for him to be able to adapt, again, not just on the hockey side, but just outside of hockey as well, and coming into a new country. And then you hear him talking about his teammates, like all the other teammates, and saying they're just so welcoming. Everybody brought him in with open arms, the coaching staff, everybody here. And especially, I think another good thing too is he mentioned somebody like Adam Zidlicki, who's kind of able to help him out a little bit more in that regard too. So I think that there's a lot of stuff there that he's just been able to adapt, not just on the hockey side, but outside of it as well.
Yeah. Think about the guts it takes to say, you know what? For my career, I think the best thing to do is to pack up and move to another country. First of all, they want me because they took me in the first round of the import draft. So, I think that I could really flourish here. And so he packs up, he goes to a different country. He has to pretty much learn a new way of life, and he's doing a great job. So, hats off to Jakub Fibigr. He's doing great. And Mikey, I mean, the scouts are noticing it. NHL scouts, he's flying up that board a little bit. And
he's just a little bit.
Yeah. Nice to see.
Yeah.
A lot of those Steelheads flying up the board a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah, I'd say so. As Ray says, that's the way she goes. And, and how many players have come out of James Richmond's that have played for James Richmond have moved on. So that just proves it. We'll talk about that next week.
Yep.
But let's move on because Jakub Fibigr is such a good guest. I mean, we could talk about him forever, boys. What has impressed you the most so far about this Steelheads team? Yeah, we've talked about how they're young, how they're talented, the young high-end talent and whatnot. But I guess what has stood out to you more than that?
I think, and I was on the swing here on Sauga 960 couple days ago. I guess it would have been last week now. That's right. The swing with Jacob
Goldbach and
Brandon DuPont.
Yes, Mr. DuPonte.
That's right. Shout out to the swing. But I was on there, and they kind of asked me a similar question, and it goes back to again I think I brought it up last show, but I feel like just the way, and they are young, which makes this even better, is the way that they win games in multiple ways. And I think that really has impressed me the most. It's that it's not always they're coming out and scoring first, even though at home it seems like every time they come out and they score first. That seems like how it goes when they play at home. But there's been a couple of road games there. Second game of the year in Erie, they fell behind a little bit. They worked their way back. They won that game. They lost to Sudbury. The next day, they come back. They fall behind to North Bay, and they come back and win that game by scoring 7 goals. Like, it wasn't a defensive game. They won it in kind of a run and gun style. So to me, I think just them being young even makes that more impressive, that they've been able to figure out different ways to win games.
It's everybody buying in. This is a system that is working for them right now. Everybody's buying in. It's a young team, but I don't really think we got much from the fourth line last year, guys. And even the third line at time was struggling because, they had guys like Lucas Cormiers, who at the time was a rookie, finding his way in the first half of the league. They didn't have 4 lines deep, I don't think, at any point last year, even at the start. And so to see it now with a younger team is so impressive. And all 6 defensemen just jumping in. Luke Dragusica, we don't talk enough about how well he's done because the other 5 defensemen are older than him and they're rock solid, but he's been great. And I mean, I think the goaltending is the story of the season. They gave up the 6 goals in North Bay, but got the win anyway. Other than that, though, I mean, it has been, their backbone. It's been winning them games. It's really just a combination of everything. I'm liking how the special teams are also adapting because that was something that was a point of emphasis going into this year, was how the special teams were going to improve. And that's happened too. So again, we're early, but this is good. This is all working. And I think it's just everybody buying in and all the personnel contributing in every way.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I could just say that I say the same thing, just piggyback. It's like everybody just buying into the system right now. I mean, everything's clicking. So, guys, let's move on. A couple games coming up for the Steelheads against the Barrie Colts, against the Kingston Frontenacs. Kingston making a coaching change. Luca Caputi is out. Interesting. Barrie, that's a team that's going to be hungry in the Central Division. I call the Central Division the Norris Division of, the Eastern Conference, that's for sure. So, guys, they're 2 tough opponents. They're going to be hungry.
Yeah, they definitely will be. And I mean, at the time of this coming out, those games would have already happened. So you don't necessarily need to go too deep into it. But yeah, I think that it is something that they're 2 teams that, like you just said, changing the coach. Usually that gives you a little bit of a boost in the season. And then you come out and you really want to play for that new guy and you want to get him those wins early on in his career. So I think that definitely goes into that. And then Barrie has been a good franchise for a long time. So they're always going to be hungry. They're always going to want to win these games. They don't want to be down in the standings. So I think both games are going to should be close, but Mississauga, I'd still expect them to come out there and score first because it just seems like that's how they do it at home.
and when you're in first place, like the Steelheads are, you always have a target on your back. So they can't expect any easy games. Every single team is getting off that bus, looking at the sign of the Paramount Fun Food Center and saying, all right, boys, we're playing the best team in the OHL right now. Let's bring our A game. And the Steelheads have to be ready, Mikey, for that A game, no matter who they're playing. I don't care if it's Niagara. They got to be ready because they have a target on their back as the top team right now.
Yeah, exactly. And they got to come out and be physical. They got to come out and be physical against these 2 teams. Talking these games are going to be already done, but hopefully they're physical against them and stuff. And coming out with a lot of fire, scoring that first goal, as Brendan said, that's always been huge, especially for the Mississauga Steelheads. But man, one guy that's really impressed me so far this year, guys, has been Mason Zabeski. How about the year that Mason Zabeski's having right now? He's another guy that's on radar right now for NHL scouts. Okay, talk about last year. He did well last year. Did we think that he was going to make this kind of a jump so far? I didn't, to be honest with you. I didn't. He has proved me wrong. He is an unbelievable player. He is tough. He is physical. He can score goals. He has great hands. He's been playing well, and I've been really, really impressed with Mason Zabeski.
Yeah, he's been super impressive. And I think, of course, in your rookie season, you're kind of just finding your way. Zach, you had mentioned Lucas Carmira sort of finding his way through that first half of the season last year. But I thought even as a rookie, maybe the offensive production wasn't exactly, of course, where it is right now, but he had that energy always played with. There was always that energy every time he went on the ice, played with that. And he always played with physicality. He was never scared to go into the corners, go to the front of the net. He was never scared to do that kind of stuff. And obviously he put in great work in the offseason because his game has jumped even to that next level. He still plays with the physicality, still plays with the intensity and the energy, but now he's adding on his offensive side of the game, becoming defensively responsible as well. And yeah, I mean, he's a guy for sure that would be jumping up on the draft boards, and hopefully we can have him on the show soon and talk to him. I'd like to kind of hear what he has to say. Yeah,
I think it was episode 2. It was episode 2 of Trout Talk, I think, and Mikey asked us who we thought our X factors would be, and I said Oakville native Mason Zabeski. And
did you? I don't even remember that.
He did. Yes, he did.
Oh wow! This is episode. I didn't even. What episode are we on right now? It seems like 500 right now.
I think 14. It's 14 and 5
is it
on
14?
The radio. 5th on the radio, man. 14th overall.
Hey, so that season just started too. Anyway, Bill, sorry, sir.
Yeah, I mean, so when I see a guy like Zabeski at 16 coming into the league, I'm not expecting him to put up big numbers. I'm looking at how they play the game. So for him, Brendan mentioned the energy. He always had energy. He also had hockey IQ. Both sides of the puck was doing all the right things. So for me, I see that, and I expect the offense to come, in their 17, 18, 19-year-old years. And you're right, NHL scouts are starting to notice that. He's scoring goals in really creative ways, which I really like to see. He's always been getting in the dirty areas, but now it's starting to pay off. I saw him a few weeks ago, and I said, "Are you a power play specialist right now?" He goes, "I guess so." I mean,
he's sure, yeah.
Yeah, he's now a staple on the power play at the front of the net. I don't think any of us saw that coming going into this year.
Right. And I think something else, too, that we hadn't mentioned, it's not like he was a first-round pick coming into the OHL. This guy was an 11th-round pick coming into the OHL to make the team as a 16-year-old. Obviously, you're doing a lot of things right in training camp and preseason, early on in the season, and not just make the team and be in and out of the lineup. He was in there every game last year. He was a mainstay in that lineup and then has completely taken on a next level. So, yeah, I mean, that's obviously a huge boost for the Steelheads and big for Mason Zabeski.
Yeah, you know what? Here's another like Charlie Callahan kind of player, as you said, Brendan. Drafted so late. Charlie Callahan was drafted so late, and that just shows the scouting staff for the Steelheads. It's just absolutely phenomenal to get guys like Mason Zabeski so late in the round, and so he's having a good year so far. I'm waiting for Lucas Carmiris to just get off that snide, to get that monkey off his back. I thought he did in Erie when he scored that game-winning goal. He's kind of, it's going to happen, especially at a young age. You're going to have games where you're going to be down, you're going to be up, you're going to be down, you're going to be up. I'm waiting guys like him, waiting for guys like Xander Vecchia to just start rolling. If those guys start rolling, guys, look out. That's all I have to say is look out. Yeah.
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 Carmiris is another player because I think even when he's not producing the offense, he's been exceptional in the draws.
That's right.
He looks like a totally different player. His positioning defensively as a centerman is phenomenal, to the point where they have Luke Misa playing on the wing because Carmiris is playing the center position so well. So his back checking and his positioning have been so good. I think his stick detail is getting a little bit better. Like he's lifting sticks. He's just got it in the right spot. So again, I think the offense is going to come. This team's 4 lines deep, but really like what he's doing away from the puck. I think that's so telling for me, and he's working at it. And I think it's only a matter of time for Lucas Carmiris.
100%. It's going to be a matter of time for Lucas Carmiris. But and as you said, he plays so well in the defensive zone, doing what he has to do. But when he starts scoring, look out the rest of the OHL. It's going to be lights out for a lot of teams. All right, guys, let's get to our life tips. I know you guys are looking at me, and all the time you guys always look at me all the time for life tips, whatever. But guess what? I got one, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna wait. Go.
Okay. Well, hi. I like it. Yeah, I think you're very wise. I think you're very wise, man, Mikey. So I like to
And Justin Dozodi just got traded.
Yes, we should probably.
Let's talk about Justin Dozodi for a little bit. So we wish Justin all the best.
Here. Yes, of course.
Wish him all the best.
30 seconds here. We just kind of got to get through this, but it was kind of a thing where he was in and out of the lineup. That fourth line was kind of a revolving door, and I guess the team thought that he was maybe the odd man out, so tried to get something for him. I feel like that's kind of how it works with those type of players on the roster, and I think that kind of makes a chain reaction. We're going to see Kieran Witkowski get a lot more minutes here, and he's going to play a lot more. William Eggleton probably gets in there a lot more as well. He's kind of been a mainstay, but he's been a little bit in and out, but he's going to be a mainstay in that lineup every day now. So at that fourth line, we already said they had an identity. Now they're going to really have an identity because they're going to be playing together all the time.
Yeah, gives Dozodi an opportunity somewhere else, gives the rookies, whether it's Eggleton or Witkowski, an opportunity here. Win-win for both of them. I wish Justin Dozodi the best. It's never easy to get traded, but he will find a home in Guelph for sure.
Yeah, good for him in Guelph, and we wish him all the best. He's a good kid, and pleasure to be around, right? So, he always took the time out to talk to us and whatnot. All right, so let's move on to our life tips now. And Brendan has a life tip ready.
We got to get through this quick here. We got to wrap soon.
Right.
But I'm going to say, when you are given opportunities in life here, you need to kind of, I don't know the right way to say this, but you just got to say yes to opportunities. I think that that's something that I've been working on personally, where if you get some type of opportunity, it doesn't really matter what it is, but just say yes, because you never know what you're going to like in life. So I think that's something that I think that's something that people should know, including me, because
well done.
I still need to improve at that.
Well done. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Take your chance.
That's right. Excuse me. Take your chances and don't follow too close on the highway. That's all I was going to say.
That's a good one too.
Just don't follow, because I'm driving today, and again, somebody right on me, right on my butt for the life of me, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going any faster. I'm sorry. I'm going 120. Nope, not happening. So then I move over, and then guess what? They go by. And then a little bit farther down the road, they got a ticket. Who had the last laugh?
Karma.
Just saying, do not follow too close and watch your speed, because karma's going to get you. And the karma police got that gentleman. And as I was driving by, I just had a little, well, I'm sorry, sir. Don't follow too close. All right, so
man, we need that camera crew to follow you around, Mikey.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, it'd be like Trailer Park Boys, right? Not quite that lifestyle, but it'd be pretty funny.
Oh man,
it's the way it's the way she goes. All right, so any last thoughts, guys, before we wrap up this episode number 14? Zach Bodenstein.
That's it. I've got a directive. We've got to get off the air here. So
yeah, okay. All right. So Brendan, any last thoughts before we wrap it up? All right.
No.
Okay. All right. So let's tee it up. You know what? Next week we got a real special guest coming on. A guy that's on the NHL Network, a guy that's on Sportsnet, draft analyst Sam Constantino will be on next week. So until then, for Zach Bodenstein and Brendan Lang, thanks for listening to Trout Talk right here on News Talk Sauga 960 AM.